Blue-throated macaw. Macaws are one of the most exotic birds found in lost uncharted islands, and it's pretty close to extinction. Blue and yellow macaws is second to your average parrot, with the only difference of it being of a rare kind on Earth to all birds in general. Humans also want animals or birds as their pets too if they're not going to eat it, which is where they are caught by people who are attracted to that specific market and sold across the world at high prices. Once sold, the new owners cage these beauties up like house parrots or budgies, and somewhat ill-treat them by not feeding them well or just abandoning them, and they eventually die this way too. The overall world population of the macaw has been decreasing as the years go by, with habitat changes, captured, being sold to people that do not provide it with proper care, etc. It's among the most endangered species of 2016.
Mountain gorilla. Every gorilla wants to be King Kong. And really some of the alpha male gorillas are fierce as they were born to be. When under the threat of where the fight of a female is involved, these Kongs can get really violent in their natural habitats and instinct to fight upon defense or provocation. This is nature's beauty taking its course, however some get killed in this process. If more male gorillas are killed, females cannot reproduce and expand the population of the mountain gorilla species. The mountain gorilla may be a large animal in size and stature, however they aren't a very large population since their decrease over the years. They are among the most endangered species of 2016. Their decrease in population is caused more to human activities such as destroying their environment for land development, hunting and killing these gorillas as a sport of fun and entertainment, selling them for their parts to Asian black markets, etc. There are currently only 2 conservation establishments to preserve the species of mountain gorillas, which is situated in Africa, the country with a high crime rate and civil war that's highly popular by locals, who makes it extremely dangerous even to conserve as they are at high risk in general. Mountain gorillas are close to extinction and aren't safe in their natural habitats, and taken to be conserved in Africa is exactly like taking a tray of eggs and placing it under falling forks. I hope that it can be seen exactly how fragile the situation is for our Kongs.
Sumatran elephant. The Sumatran elephant are among the most endangered species of 2016. In the real world, people would use their trunks to store groceries, to install the loudest of stereo sounds with neon lights, or to kidnap people, tie them up and throw them in there till the location of drop-off, or they would use their trunks to store a cache of weapons also. But elephants, on the other hand, use their trunks as a means of survival. It is the passageway through which food and water would pass, their means of voice to call upon their other elephant pals, or to grab hold of their infants with an immense amount of strength to take them to a secure place or to feed them to. The elephants are pretty close to extinction. Nature at its ultimate best, the way we were made, both human and animal, born in life to be able to master our lives as well. The world as we know it has always been cruel towards animals of all kinds simply for matters of hunting, entertainment, making a living, etc. Ivory is a big market and highly attractive to illegal black markets that are controlled by ruthless men and some women as well. Elephant tusks is a factory to ivory markets, and in order to take these tusks, a large giant like the elephant has to be put down, and most are either hurt very badly or killed, or the highly injured ones tend to wander off for some time until their bodies collapse and they eventually become a large chunk of dead meat and food to other scavenging animals of the wild. Although there are several effective hunting control mediums in place, there's only so much the world can legally control, which makes the Sumatran elephant one of the most highly endangered species that's prone to being extinct not very far from now.
Hawaiian, mean goose. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, they say. If the goose is extinct or endangered, the gander will not be able to reproduce more goosey ganders, which stirs up a strong possibility for their extinction also. Another species wiped off the ecosystem is what it would be. Imagine if a whole lot of other reliant species wipe out too. This would bring us closer and closer to the zombie apocalypse. This isn't just geese we're talking about. The Hawaiian geese come from the beautiful and serene islands of Hawaii, which automatically means that it's a beautiful bird too. Beauty of any kind needs to be preserved and maintained for future generations. The animal is among the most endangered species of 2016. Cultivation and conservation of endangered animals are of vital importance to its population growth for its species to escape the endangered zone. Mean birds can be found mainly on golf courses, wetlands as a means of drinking water and feeding on other smaller things etc., slopes and grassy areas as well. The animal is close to extinction. The declination of the mean geese population has seen rapid reduction since the early 1900s because of aggressive hunting and collecting of these beauty birds' eggs and doing God knows what with what could have been the baby birth generation of a new population of these glory geese.
Nigerian giraffe. Giants of the wild, the Serengeti resides in long-necked and long-legged bodies of giraffes. The probabilities of a giraffe getting killed are very common, seeing that their uncontrolled homes are in the wild of Africa. Africa is a beautiful country which boasts sceneries that the richest of the world would come down to bask in, as well as tourist attractions that come plane after plane to visit what Africa has to offer. However, Africa is notoriously known for many dark things too, in contrast to the immeasurable amount of beauty it can offer, which is something to be fearful about with regards to the wildlife and animals that live in those dangerous habitats. So what are the odds of a giraffe being killed every now and then? Nigerian giraffe is among the most endangered species of 2016 and are pretty close to extinction. If it lives in the wild is home to lions and cheetahs too, which means an easy tackle for meat and means of survival of the fittest. Africa is a war-torn country in most parts, which won't be very long till giraffes have unlucky days being caught in the crossfire of AK-47 wars amongst the locals too. It may seem bizarre to even speak about that odd, however, because it's a possibility, it makes it endangered either way. Besides this, giraffes are also known to be taken to zoos and treated as zoo animals, locked in a large cage with simulated unnatural environments, and although safer in a zoo with zookeepers and the love and attention from visitors etc., they are bound to be ill-treated by zookeepers with regards to food and proper maintenance etc. There are various other factors that impact on the giraffe's distribution and population decrease, such as habitat degradation and human activities such as poaching etc.
Indiana bat. As blind as a bat, the usual saying goes, is also another one in the endangered species list, and note it's not because it's blind and is to fly about knocking itself everywhere and falling to its death, if some may wonder. In 1967, the Indiana bat has been rendered as endangered due to it being chased by people from caves during the winter seasons, and the average cave has been known to be home to approximately 20,000 to 50,000 bats overall, who eventually fly to other parts and die in that way. And sadly, they are still among the most endangered species of 2016. That most definitely calls for a concern by who is concerned about this blind dark creatures. Snakes in a cave are bats' fear too. It is believed that there are more snakes in the cave to outnumber bats, which eventually outnumbers them. More food for snakes would come from live bats that they lurk behind rocks before the unlucky capture in its mouth after churning it up, one by one, all year round for many years on. Has got to be a large decrease in its population overall. The Indiana bats are close to extinction. In only 2006, something called the white nose syndrome, WNS, has reported to have killed over 1 million bats, which further contributed to its endangerment and bringing it closer and closer to its eventual extinction.
Pansy spray toad. Frogs aren't the most loved of amphibians due to its scaly back, beady eyes and sticky limbs in general, but that doesn't mean they need to be stumped on. The Pansy spray toad isn't your usual frog though, as the name suggests and emphasizes, and in actual fact, is critically endangered. Pansy spray toad is actually extinct in the wild as it stands, according to a study conducted in 2009 due to its population not being able to sustain itself. This is precisely why the ones that are existent in parts of the world need to be conserved so that the species isn't completely extinct. Besides being born in the Pansy Falls, which is known for its beauty, there are also dangers involved where its habitat is concerned with regards to the size of these frogs compared to falling rocks, river predators etc. Lately, 2 American zoos have taken steps to save the species of the African amphibians from extinction.
Iberian lynx. Lynx has been a type of cat that always remained a phantom in the world, a mysterious type of ghost cat that lurks around and is seen very rarely. Aren't like the average stray cat you'd find wandering around on the streets or a pet in your home. Lynx are among the most endangered species of 2016 and are found distributed mainly in woodlands in specific parts of the world, being marshy and rocky or scrubby areas. The Iberian lynx, on the other hand, is currently the most endangered wild cat species in the world. This should be alarming to cat lovers around the world because aren't like all other cats, this one doesn't have 9 lives as the common norm about cats would go. By 2010, the number of breeding Iberian lynx females have dropped right down to a staggering and rather conservationist shaking 90%, which is almost to its rim, almost like an engine of a car almost ready to blow once reaching its maximum RPM line. The Iberian lynx is close to extinction, and its main food source or prey can be traced back to the European rabbit, which also has seen a decrease from about 80 to 90%, which affects the living of these lynxes as that is their main food source.
Hawaiian monk seal. Monk seals are one of the rarest of species in the world. It's one of the most endangered species of 2016 and pretty close to extinction. Whether you care about them or not, these mammals are particularly so fragile in its state of existence that it's rather scary and should make people realize about how their activities in the ocean etc. affects sea life in general. Seal culling is no surprise to the world, and we've seen a heap of large numbers of dead seal pileups over the years. The Caribbean monk seal, on the other hand, has been declared extinct since the 1970s and is another part of the species. Monk seals reside solely in depths of the ocean and are prone to accidental bycatches of deep-sea fishermen also, and thrown back injured, for which its blood may also attract sharks, which gets it killed eventually if not by the human hand. Nature was mysteriously designed that way, to take a life and put it out of its misery. While fishermen are the least of monk seals' concerns, the most blatant way they get killed is by the males in the pack, where the females are killed by a process called mobbing. If more monk seal females are killed, this primarily means death of the species due to reproduction process being slowed down as well.
Kakapo parrot. Ranked number 1 on the extinction list of endangered species of 2016 for various different reasons is the kakapo parrot. With the kakapo flightless parrot, it seems like we have to do a countdown for its extinction, as that's how volatile its situation is in terms of its life on Earth. Really something of mass concern worldwide by conservationists etc. Flightless is an appropriate name for it, since it really has been decreasing more rapidly than other endangered species to a number that sits in less than 100 instead of thousands or millions. The kakapo parrot looks like an owl in appearance. A serious boil down from its existence since the accidental death of its female, who conservationists have named Sandra. The bird is close to extinction. All kakapos are tracked with transmitters to help rangers in the kakapo recovery program that they've established. Ever since the death of what was the only female kakapo, the drop of kakapos have fallen rapidly and still on the brink of falling below to the final countdown till its extinction, which cannot be reversed. The only thing to be done at this moment would be by means of creating a hybrid kakapo species in order to keep the species alive and in existence in this world. The kakapo hangs on a cotton thread and makes for one of the most endangered animal species that is very close to extinction. It can only be brought back from brink if it rebirthed by the process of creating a hybrid of the species.